Okay, so we are back with the Fighting Networker. I'm excited to be here with my guest, Christopher Jones. He's talking from heaven and he's excited to be here. Hey, Christopher, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing all right, man. And you?
Oh, doing good. I appreciate you taking the time with me today. You know, the Fighting Networker really talks to people with ambition, people that are doing things in life, people with big dreams and goals, mostly entrepreneurs. But reality is, I've been talking with people from all walks of life, and we met on the internet, like I've been meeting with just about all my guests, though I do have a lot of my friends that I grew up with as guests. But Christopher, I appreciated you saying you'd like to be on. You're an inventor. You also are president of Mall of Hope, a believer. And so let's talk about things. Tell me what's going on in your life right now.
So there's a bunch of things. It started out with my mom. She was diagnosed with cancer, and I wanted to create a lasting legacy for her. She, I thought that she would be something more when I found out that she had been awarded the top two, state of New Jersey leaders of America, the William Randolph Foundation. But she became a waitress, and I never knew about her getting that award until after she had already passed, July 2nd of 21. But before she passed, she told me to stop being an introvert, get out there, and use what I can do to help people. So I wanted to preserve her essence. I recorded her audio and I took pictures and got information like likes, mottos, inspirations, and so forth. And I created a family tree that can not only help people who could be going through that situation, they want to preserve something that's important, or get a video like behind me with a star speaking from heaven, like a last message, or you can use it for yourself if you have Alzheimer's, dementia, or someone, because the reality is that you want to make certain those memories are strong enough for the cognitive state of mind for everybody to enjoy it for generations to come.
Very, very cool. So now you've been creative your whole life. You're also an inventor. Well, talk to me about that. What are
Yes.
the inventions you got going on?
One of the inventions actually deals with like combining the coffin, a remote urn, and a solar panel with an audio playback. So you can listen to your loved one's voice while having the bots about the size of a actual post office bots in essence, but it has speakers and uses solar energy to power the device to listen to your loved one's voice again when you're paying your respects, obviously.
Wow. And it's like, how did you come up with that idea? I mean, do you have technical background? Are you good with stuff or what?
I just like to invent stuff. I have a IT and web design, but that's totally not the wheelhouse for that. Obviously, that's engineering more likely. But it just made me think about it with all the news I was reading about, like we're doubling down on graveyards, we're running out of space, and then there's land shortages. And then it's going to come a time when it not only is it in some countries, but all around the world, it's going to be forced to have cremation. So there's going to be a dispute about, religious beliefs and so forth. So how can we go about it to, give everyone an equal opportunity to still get their religious beliefs as close as possible? So there's an inner box that holds the ashes, and then you can put dirt over top of it with an outer box to mimic the burial effect with the urn as well. And then there's speakers, so you can be able to play with Bluetooth, listening to your loved one's voice through the Cherish These Words platform. While all of this encompassing that each unit purchase, a tree would be planted, which would be a fruit tree. So the fruit could then be turned into food, whether it's for a food pantry or an individual who can afford food can be able to benefit from that.
And so this is what the Mall of Hope is all about.
Yes, Cherish These Words is the family tree platform, and then the Mall of Hope is going to be self-sustaining solutions, and this is how it's going to fund it. So when people do donate, 90% will go to cause, or 100% to cause on some initiatives. Like for example, with Mall of Hope, one of the plans is initiative for pet assistance. Why is it that we can't create a fair value act where in-kind donation could be done, where a veterinary clinic could provide services to an individual whose pet needs surgery, whether they have PTSD or grandma seizures? It's a very important thing that their pet's there for them. So the surgery could be done for free through the in-kind donation, and then it'd be a tax write-off for the veterinary clinic All we gotta do is just get a bunch of different facilities across the US to band together, come up with a value, get it legally put together, bring it to the IRS, get it signed off on, and then boom, it's 100% the cause through in-kind donation. And if someone donates to that initiative, it's 90 to 100% the cause, depending upon the upkeep and maintenance.
Very, very smart. I have I love dogs. I am like a dog lover. And I think that is the coolest thing. I have a little chihuahua, and I don't know how many more years she has left, but she's older and stuff.
Yep.
And it's so hard when you lose a pet. I mean, of course, it's hard when you lose your parent too. I
Yes.
remember when my dad passed away. I mean, it broke my heart. And but to do this with animals and to do this, your mind is you're a very loving, beautiful human being. I appreciate
Thank you.
talking with you today. So tell me, how do you get your customers? Are you working with like funeral homes, veterinarians? What are you doing there? Are you doing anything about that prospecting and networking?
At the moment, I'm on a third podcast with you. I'm just now going public with it. It's taking me a little bit of time to work up the nerve to actually go presenting this. And
Wow, very
to
good.
top it off, I have incorporated into the family tree platform pets. So you can be able to navigate and see the family members' pets as well as their friends. And adding into that, for individuals in the family, you can see medical history that they share because nobody really asks that question except for the doctors ask you, but you don't know it.
So you came up with this thought, this idea, how long ago?
Yes. I was tinkering around with it for several years. I didn't really completely finish it till after my mom's passing, unfortunately. The idea of the story background video recording didn't really get finalized until December of last year. But by then it was already way past my mom's passing. So for me, I got the audio recording and I got the basic information that gives you the ability to have a bond with someone who's passed, but the video is not there. But for everybody else, they have that opportunity where the video will be there. And that's what's really important, memories.
I think you have an awesome, awesome niche and a great product. I encourage you, and I'm sure you've got the self motivation to do it, but don't quit on this. I think you're onto something really, really cool, and a lot of people will love. Are you advertising in any way? What do you? I mean, okay, this is your third podcast, but is this what you're doing? You're getting on podcasts to help get the word
That's
out.
pretty much what I'm doing right now.
And are you using? Do you have like do you have a website that you put together? Anything where people can see and hear stuff?
Yes, it's cherishthesewords.com.
CherishTheseWords.com.
Yep.
Okay, CherishTheseWords.com. And we'll make sure that we put that in the description when this goes up on Spotify. And it is really, really cool. So what do you like? What is your day like? Do you have another job? Are you doing this full time? What are you doing with that?
Right now, I'm doing this full time because I don't want to let this be lost through the wind. Because if you don't put all your efforts out there, you're never going to get it out there. And then as time progresses, you don't know how long you have to live to start with. So, you got to put yourself against the wall and keep moving forward because if you don't, everybody's going to lose out on opportunities you have to present.
Yeah. So you live in New Jersey, right?
Yes.
Cool. Uh, like, have you started? Did you get the word out to friends and family? Have you done that?
I am fortunately being an introvert, didn't really have many friends. I only have two. And as far as family goes, I just have my aunt and her husband. Everyone else in my family has passed away, and those who are still alive, you don't want to associate with them. They're the type that they be
Oh,
selling
yeah.
stuff that you don't want to be
Yeah, yeah, I
involved in.
understand. Well, you can count me as your number three friend.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that's great. I really when I hear stories like this, because I've talked to so many people over the years that started a business and failed, and most businesses fail.
Yes.
And the number one reason why businesses fail is because of fear. And when fear sets
Yes.
in, after a while, if things aren't going your way, you kind of get scared, and you lose that belief in yourself, and you don't think you're good enough. So I just encourage you to and you probably already have this in you, just to be fearless, to let go of fear, because it's just lack of personal confidence. And I think you've got such a good product. How does this thing, when someone wants to do this, do you have a price on it? How do they get this?
All right. So for anything TED's based, because TED's doesn't have any overhead, I have it set up to be 100% for free to sign up. Now, if you're adding in additives like video, audio, and pictures, that actually deals with server storage. And then like technology advances. So we went from black and white to color to Blu-ray. That's probably going to happen with technology for the pictures, video, and all that up on the server. So that is where you actually are paying for the cost for that, because that's going to deal with, yes, it's what it is now, but later on it's going to cost more for the upkeep. So kind of like life insurance. For now, it's like this, but later on, it's going to be more like a subscription basis.
Oh, so, okay. So a subscription. What do you think the monthly charge would be? Is it a high charge? What have you come up with for a price point?
Honestly, I'm not to that point right now. I'm doing it at a fixed price, getting in the door to get this started, and then I'll do a subscription base later as it gets more built up and all that. But the idea is I wanted to get this in the door, out in the works. That way it can support the nonprofit Mall of Hope. My aim is 40% of net profits every year will go to the nonprofit Mall of Hope. And every initiative on Mall of Hope is a self sustaining solution for long term value.
Is there any competition? Is there anybody you're modeling this after? Do you have any thoughts on that?
I don't think there really is a closest one would be like ancestry.com, but that's more of a historical facts and figures. And then, yes, I do DNA and such. I'm not going to do that. But this is more like, you can company it with ancestry.com if you want to have a more personal touch and an actual ability to connect with a loved one in a way that
Okay,
you wouldn't be able otherwise.
sure. So of course a person would have to have all the pictures, all the videos already for this, and then you would put that product together.
They can do it themselves, actually. It's pretty much autonomous. You just go in, you sign up, add the features you want, and then upload it to your account. When you pass, the only feature that you didn't have the ability to edit was the family message. So when someone else in the family would put in that message for you, and on the top there's like a 3 heart tombstone where your name is. You click the name, you can hear the last recording they wanted to leave behind for inspirational message or whatever. And then there's a friendly message, and then there's a video if you have one, and then all the other details that you wanted to share, and then
Okay, so
pictures.
so we're going to try to help you get some customers. Okay, that's why we're
That
here.
would be great.
Yeah, and so when they go to your website, is it pretty simple? Can they, log in and it's all pretty
Yep.
self-explanatory? Is there someone there to help them if they need it?
Anyone's welcome to contact me any time of the day. I will get back in touch with you, and I'll do it directly with you one on one if I have to. I'm
Okay.
there for them.
Does the site have, because when someone gets started with this, does the site give them a price? I need any type of an idea of what the
Yeah.
price.
So I can actually give you the details. Give me 1 second. I want to make sure I give you the
Yeah.
correct ones for each of the things. All right. Just give me 1 more second. Okay, here we go. So for audio space, that's for each audio location on your profile, it's $5. And then audio
One
minute,
time charge?
yeah, one-time charge for each
Yep.
space. And then
Yep.
audio minute is $10. Now, obviously, that minute means it can be broken up across all the audio spaces. So that way you get the most leverage of your actual what you paid for. And the same concept applies for video, but video is $50 because remember, video is gigabytes we're talking about. It's not little kilobytes in length and so forth. And it has a lot more detailed in depth in terms of upgrades. Picture space is $20. Tree planting is $50, which is like I said, any time a tree's planted, it's gonna be a fruit tree. So
How
the
much?
fruit can be
How many dollars for the tree?
$50.
Hmm.
And then that will be in their name. So kind of like having, how some companies do the, you can purchase a star in heaven or skies or whatever you want to call it. It's kind of like that, but for a tree, your name would be associated with that tree. and their family can always know that you left a legacy. And then the unit that I told you about is another thing on the site that you can purchase to have it when you pass away so the family can get it. Because remember, when you do a burial, you're looking at like $10,000. But if you're doing a cremation, it's closer to $2,000 to $3,000, depending upon, what packages you use, where you're going, and so forth. And then a pet package is $100, which includes audio recordings, pictures, and video.
Yeah. So if not if, but when my Chihuahua passes,
Yes.
I think I'm gonna be one of your customers. I think it's a very cool thing. So what's the subscription? I mean, you pay for all that to get started, but what's the subscription? Have you come up with is that gonna be
Subscription is going to be later on. It's going to be more like not those you coming in right now, but then when it comes to maintaining the server and there's a lot of people and then those who pass away, they don't have to pay for a subscription, but it's going to be newcomers. You have to pay the subscription later
yeah.
on.
Okay, well, I'm sure you'll figure it all out as you go. And
Yes.
being on the podcast, I think you're going to have a lot of success getting the word out and people putting your website up there. But as a fighting entrepreneur, you are now in the fighting entrepreneur group, right? Being an entrepreneur
Yes.
is not an easy task because every day is a new fight and you don't want to get knocked out, and if you do, you want to get back up and don't stop. So I want to make sure that we stay connected, so over the next year or so we can have you on again and you can tell us the progress and you can let us know how that's going, to keep the dream alive.
Definitely.
We'll be watching you.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so I've got the website. We'll make sure we put that on there. Um, Let me say this, that for those that are listening, if you're a young entrepreneur or if you're an old entrepreneur, it takes a special person to be a person that goes into business for themselves, comes up with an idea, or works with a manufacturer and partners with them, like these affiliate programs today, or being a distributor with a manufacturer. But it's a lonely business. And it seems like, Christopher, you're good at being alone. So you got the upper hand on that.
Yep.
And I'll tell you what, me too. I have no problem being alone. I spend most of my time by myself. So being an entrepreneur, being successful can be a very lonely journey, but it's worth it. What's your goals with this thing? Do you have a 1 year goal, or where you want to be in 2 years or 3 years? Do you have any idea on that?
Well, it's more like a 10-year goal. I want to get this up to 1 billion so that way I know that all my dreams for the nonprofit are done. One of my goals is to pretty much end the lack of income for everyone, to stimulate the economy across the world, and to make it so that way all the, like, for example, electronics and appliances and vehicles could go to, say, Africa, which instead of doing like units at 50 cents a day to help a starving family, why can't we just take electronics, have it dismantled as a self-sustaining solution? It now allows us to reuse the same materials. They can go from their 50 cents a day that we're being asked to give, but we can make it up to where they're making $7 and more a day on what they're earning, taking apart stuff across the world so we can recycle and cut down on waste. That's another one of my initiatives with the nonprofit Mall of Hope.
So the Mall of Hope is going to have a mall of projects.
Yes, there are a total of 10 initiatives, all of which I consider to be self-sustaining, different categorizations, and it's a 501(c)(3) nonprofit, and its initial funding source is Cherish's words, so I don't have to harass people for donations.
Yeah, very cool. Who came up with the Mall of Hope? How did you come up with that name?
I consider it like a mall. You go to the mall, there's a bunch of different stores and different things you can look at, and it just depends on what you're interested in. So I figured go with the mall, and then hope, because everybody could use a little hope today, especially with everything that's been going on and everything we hear about. It's kind of depressing in one manner, but at the same time, it's enlightening. We never expected, like for example, the pandemic for it to take such a huge toll on everyone. Even newborns were being taken out by it. But
Yeah.
you just never know what benefit you can be to someone. So that's what I'm hoping to be.
Yeah. I always said, and I think I heard this once and it just stuck with me. If I could sell anything, it would be hope. And it's such a great product to sell. And
Yes.
I don't know about you, but I love healthy smoothies. This talk is being sponsored by smoothietext.com. And I've been in the smoothie industry now for almost 40 years. Um, if you love healthy smoothies, we put together a great, I call it a revolutionary service because I don't think there's anything like it. It's in just 2 minutes, a person can subscribe. It's a subscription program. It's a free subscription, and you give your address that you would ship the smoothies to. You give your credit card that you would use if you saw a smoothie that you would like to buy. And once you subscribe to smoothietext.com, every day you get a new smoothie recipe with ingredients sent to you. And if you like that flavor, say it's Dutch chocolate or wild berry or pina colada, and every day you get a new flavor of these healthy smoothie mixes. But if you like the flavor, you just click number one on your cell phone, you click number one, and you get one canister of that mix sent to your home. So the service is called smoothietext.com. And it just helps you to feel better, look better. It's high nutrition, low calories. And today's smoothies are such a big thing, and because people are health conscious, people want to live longer and healthier lives. And so this is my little spot here to talk to people about smoothietext.com. And so, Christopher, we have on Wednesdays we record our podcast. We have every Wednesday we record new people. And so let's make a date. Let's say a year from today, we're going to
Okay.
record you again on a Wednesday, and we want to see you made a lot of progress
Mhm.
with Mall of Hope. And so the pressure's on you, bud. We're going to be watching you, and we're going to have you
Sounds
back
good.
so you can tell us what's happened since. How does that sound?
Sounds good to me.
You got to be held accountable. When you're held accountable and you have an idea, it increases your odds to like 95% chance that you're going to be successful. But if you're not accountable, if you're not held accountable, an idea is just like a 10% chance you're going to be successful. So I'm just kind of put the pressure on you to help you to be accountable. Is that okay?
That's fine.
All
Like
right, that's
King
good.
Arthur, always be held accountable. You're there for the people.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. So appreciate you being here. And for those listening to the Fighting Networker, we'll be talking to you again next Wednesday. We have some great lineups. We have like a lineup of like 30 great people, different entrepreneurs. Christopher was in that lineup, and people from all walks of life and backgrounds. And so it's always exciting to talk to the next person because I really don't know what I'm going to get myself into. So it's great talking to you, Christopher. I appreciate you being here. And I don't think you're going to have any competition on the Fighting Network. I think you're going to be the only guy doing something like this with the Mall of Hope. So keep up the good work, and we're going to be cheering you on.
Thank you.
And we're done. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.